Hello, this is Eden with Helixx VR. Today I'll be reviewing The Wizards. As a disclaimer, this review is based on a pre-release version. The Wizards is a fantasy adventure game for the HTC Vive and Oculus Rift by Carbon Studios. It currently has 2 regions with 4 stages in each, so a total of 8 stages, not including the introduction. In early access they plan to add 2 more regions to the story, a desert region and a fort region. There are also plans to add an arcade mode with its own map. Arcade mode will focus on spell combat. I would estimate that a normal playthrough of the current content would take 3 hours if only playing each level is completed and then progressing, but there is more to do, so playtime will likely be longer. I'm told that the speedrun record is currently 75 minutes, so that's your target to beat. I've been playing the game for the past week and one of the strongest points is the gameplay. Over the time I've played, I've unlocked 6 spells so far: Fireball, Frostbow, Shield, Arcane Missile, Lightning and Pyrosphere. The motion for each spell is very unique, and most are fairly easy to use in most cases after some practice. Part of the concept of the game is that you are learning to become a Master Wizard, so it really adds to the experience that you may be slow at first, or occasionally fail a spell, but grow to the point where you can actually reliably and quickly throw a fireball at one enemy, then shoot lightning at the next without missing a beat. There is a tutorial area specifically for learning and practicing the spells, and I do recommend that players watch the movement carefully. When I first learned Fireball, I failed it maybe a quarter of the time until I went back and saw that I was actually missing a little flick. After noticing that, I could do it consistently. As you gain points, you can upgrade the spells. Each spell has 2 upgrades. For example, you could add a burn effect to your Fireball to give the enemy lingering damage, and then add a second upgrade to have the option to charge the spell. Other effects include slowing enemies down, reflecting projectiles back at the enemy, and chaining lightning between enemies. You can reset and redistribute these points as needed. The game is teleportation only, which is not everyone's cup of tea, but I find it works well in this game. You can dodge projectiles physically as well as blocking with your shield spell, but more often if you want to dodge, you'll find yourself teleporting to another pad. The game has a good amount of replayability, partially due to fate cards. You can choose up to 2 cards to act as modifiers, such as make the enemy faster or weaker. You can also receive a different amount of points depending on how well you do in a level, so you may find yourself going back to previous levels to try and do better to get what you need to upgrade your skills. There are a lot of positive points to this game. One of them is the narrative. As you progress through this game, you'll be guided by the voice of a wizard whose time has passed. The narrator really sets the scene well and explains the world and the story in an interesting way. The voice itself fits perfectly to the role, which helps keep you immersed, and they have a few amusing quips along the way. The game is graphically impressive. There are some minor issues such as text not being clear as it could be, as is common in many VR games. The price of the game is quite reasonable for the amount of content. I'm personally at 4 hours in as I write this, and I still have more I want to do. Some parts of the environment are destructible, both parts which are intended to be destroyed as part of the story, and objects laying around the world. I found this to be a nice touch. The motion controls for the spells I've already talked about. They're all great, except possibly one, which I'll speak about later. The replayability, which I've already gone into, is definitely a plus. One impressive feature is that the game has a full set of graphics and audio options as well as free save profiles. As a final point, the developers seem very open to feedback and using it to shape the game. They also have a lot of additional content planned. There are some negatives to the game, but they're all fairly minor or being worked on. One of the Helixx VR team members had difficulty because he is left-handed. Left-hand support is due to come in the early access period, but isn't implemented yet. I found that the Arcane Missile spell is reliable in making big motions, but not so much as small motions. The devs are apparently recording more motions for it after feedback about it. To choose a level, you load an item into a slot. There have been issues doing this on occasion. I found that throwing the item into the slot from the top right works consistently, but it should automatically be drawn to it. I'm told that they are trying to correct the issue. To conclude the review, The Wizards is a great game. Even in the pre-release state, it doesn't feel like the standard, very incomplete early access title, except that we're obviously not at the end of the story after those 8 stages. There are some minor negatives, but they're easily outweighed by the much stronger positives. The current state of the game is already better than many complete games, and a lot more is promised for the future, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. If you've not seen it yet, we've also done an interview with PG from Carbon Studios about this game. Once again, this was Eden from Helixx VR. If you enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe.